عليك الخير كله نشكرك ولا نكفرك ونخلع ونترك من يفجرك اللهم إياك نعبد ولك نصلي ونسجد وإليك نسعى ونحفد نرجو رحمتك ونخشى عذابك إن عذابك الجد بالكفار ملحق اللهم لك الحمد كله ولك الشكر كله وإليك يرجع الأمر كله علانيته وسره فأهل أنت أن تحمد وأهل أنت أن تعبد وأنت على كل شيء قدير اللهم لك الحمد حتى ترضى ولك الحمد إذا رضيت ولك الحمد بعد الرضا لك الحمد كالذي نقول وخيرا مما نقول ولك الحمد كالذي تقول ولك الحمد على كل حال اللهم لك الحمد أنت نور السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن ولك الحمد أنت قيوم السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن ولك الحمد أنت الحق وكلامك حق ووعدك حق ولقاؤك حق والملائكة حق والنبيون حق ومحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم حق والساعة
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back. We're still running the Muslimah Ramadan 1444, powered by Bounties Charity Initiative. Alhamdulillah, we've had loads and loads of sessions this morning. This afternoon, we'll be having a session with SAPs with regards to kitchen hacks in Ramadan, because most women, we want to spend most of our time on Ibadah. We want to reflect. We want to optimize Ramadan. But we have this one big thing on our neck, which is you have to cook for iftar, or you have to cook for sahur. And at times, these take chunks of our time. We want to see different kitchen hacks that we could use in Ramadan to make kitchen seamless, easier, and then giving us enough time to focus, enough time to enjoy ibadah, inshallah. At the moment, Sister Abs seems to be having some connection glitches. So while we're waiting for her to join us in the studio, we could use the time to do some other things with regards to bounties. A lot of people want to know what bounties do. Okay, bounties support Muslim women through knowledge, education, through a lot of resource sharing. Whatever you have, bring it on board to Bounty to support another woman. Wherever your skill is, wherever your gift is, bring it on board and help to liberate more women from ignorance, from poverty, and even from death. A lot of issues of warranted. We're losing a lot of people due to ignorance. So with Bounties, you can join Bounties through bounties.org website, bounties.org. Bounties rather than IES, you put IS.org. So when you get to the site, just click get involved. You see different ways you can get involved. You could be a mentor. We have a lot of Muslimahs looking for somebody to mentor them. You could join the Woman in Trauma project. If you're a coach, a mentor, you have a lot of therapy skills, you could join the Women in Trauma project. You could join the Education and Skill Drive project, who is supporting women for knowledge transition, knowledge transformation. You could even join the Bounty Seed. Studio, please, can we have something about Bounty Seed? Okay, the bounty seed is you become a seed, you bring more persons into the seed, and then as time goes on, the seed is a monthly deduction, bringing more people to join, you get the reward of every other person through your seed. That's just a clip of the bounty seed. And aside from that, when you think of donation, people think of donation as in finances. To bounties, donation is not only finances. Check out bounties.org/slash donates. You'll be able to see several other ways you could donate. You'll be amazed at the fact that you have what it takes to donate to support a women's charity. And then this is Ramadan. This is the time of Ibadah. Bounty is running an automated donation, daily automated donation. We will take the stress of thinking about donation from you every day in Ramadan. All you have to do is to sign up with the Ramadan challenge. Go to bounties.org/Ramadan challenge and get involved in the Ramadan challenge. It's as little as $1 or £1 or just 500 naira or even less, 100 naira every day. Once you sign up for it, this will be deducted daily throughout Ramadan. And at the end of Ramadan, it's cut off. It simply means that you have to think about, have I given charity today? Have I given sadaqah today? Bounties will do that for you just by you clicking on the Ramadan challenge, open into the Ramadan challenge, and a whole lot of other things that Bounties does. In fact, it can't really, if I start explaining and explaining, we'll take the whole of today. Subhanallah. And mashallah, Bounties is calling for more partnership now. Whatever you do very well, whether as a company, as an organization, and you think you can use it to support more women as CSR, we'll be happy to take that. And mashallah, people have been asking Bounties, do you take zakat? Yes, we do. We take zakat, and this is the month where most people give zakat, mashallah. Check out Bounty/projects to see loads of Muslim empowerment projects that need zakat for funding, from skills to education to knowledge drive to tool kits. Most of all these will go a long way to help more women, mashallah. Yes, we take zakat. Check out the bounties.org/slash project. At the moment, I think the back end is still having issue with Sister Apsi, so we can go for another bounties break and then we'll be back. Assalamu alaikum.
اللهم إنا نحمدك ونستعينك ونستهديك ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك ونثني عليك الخير كله نشكرك ولا نكفرك ونخلع ونترك من يفجرك اللهم إياك نعبد ولك نصلي ونسجد وإليك نسعى ونحفد نرجو رحمتك ونخشى عذابك إن عذابك الجد بالكفار ملحق اللهم لك الحمد كله ولك الشكر كله وإليك يرجع الأمر كله علانيته وسره فأهل أنت أن تحمد وأهل أنت أن تعبد وأنت على كل شيء قدير اللهم لك الحمد حتى ترضى ولك الحمد إذا رضيت ولك الحمد بعد الرضا لك الحمد كالذي نقول وخيرا مما نقول ولك الحمد كالذي تقول ولك الحمد على كل حال اللهم لك الحمد أنت نور السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن ولك الحمد أنت قيوم السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن ولك الحمد أنت الحق وكلامك حق ووعدك حق ولقاؤك حق والملائكة حق والنبيون حق ومحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم حق والساعة آتية لا ريب فيها ونستعينك ونستهديك ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك ونثني عليك الخير كله، نشكرك ولا نكفرك ونخلع ونترك من يفجرك. اللهم إياك نعبد ولك نصلي ونسجد وإليك نسعى ونحفد، نرجو رحمتك ونخشى عذابك، إن عذابك الجد بالكفار ملحق. اللهم لك الحمد كله ولك الشكر كله، وإليك يرجع الأمر كله علانيته وسره، فأهل أنت أن تحمد وأهل أنت أن تعبد، وأنت على كل شيء قدير. اللهم لك الحمد حتى ترضى، ولك الحمد إذا رضيت، ولك الحمد بعد الرضا. لك الحمد كالذي نقول وخيرا مما نقول، ولك الحمد كالذي تقول، ولك الحمد على كل حال. اللهم لك الحمد أنت نور السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن، ولك الحمد أنت قيوم السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن، ولك الحمد أنت الحق وكلامك حق ووعدك حق ولقاؤك حق والملائكة حق والنبيون حق ومحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم حق، والساعة آتية لا ريب فيها. اللهم إنا نحمدك ونستعينك ونستهديك ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Sister Apsi. So glad to see you. Alhamdulillah.
Glad to see you. Alhamdulillah.
Finally. Alhamdulillah, Jazakumullah khairan. We can't
Thank
wait
you
to
so
have
much.
you. Welcome
Yes.
back to the studio. We learned you had several technical glitches. We've been here waiting.
In fact, Alhamdulillah, yeah,
Jazakumullah khairan. Alhamdulillah, everyone. Sister Apsi is here, mashallah. We've been waiting for her. We can't wait to have this recording for more people to be able to see even after this live session, inshallah. We want to optimize Ramadan, mashallah. We want to spend enough time for our ibadah. And we are women. We struggle with the kitchen. We have to cook. We have to cook iftar. We have to cook sahur, subhanallah. Yes, Sister Apsi is here to tell us the tips and those nice acts to make cooking easier, seamless, effortless, and enjoyable, such that we'll have enough time for ibadah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So you can have the stage. Assalamu alaikum.
All right. Assalamu alaikum. So without further ado, like our sister said, as women, we kind of we have to juggle the fact that we are in the most perfect, most beautiful month in the whole year and the most holiest month, but then we also have our responsibility as mothers, as wives, as caretakers of the family. So without further ado, I'm just going to give you 10 tips. I know it's a lot, but 10 tips, easy tips that you can be able to do. I scribbled down some things, so I'm just going to go through my so that I don't, make a mistake. So I scribbled down some things that I can be able to share with everybody so that it can make your life much easier. So the first thing I'm going to share with you is to make a 2-week timetable. Why a 2-week timetable? Because if you make a 2-week timetable, you'll find that you are not bored of what you're eating.
Assalamu alaikum,
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly, mashallah. We want to remove the black spots beside your phone. Can you put your phone in rotation and make it landscape, please?
Oh, sure, no problem.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, wait.
You have to put the phone in rotation to be able to make it landscape.
Okay, 1 minute.
Thank you. Mashallah, perfect. Yes, this is it. Yes. So I'll take my pen too so that I can start writing.
All right. Okay. So everybody, I hope you can see me.
Welcome back. Thank you.
Okay, mashallah. So the issue that we have most of the time is we don't really know what to cook. All the time, we're always asking the children or we're asking our husband, what would you like to eat? What would you like to eat? It's better to plan ahead. So planning ahead will be creating a 2-week timetable. This 2-week timetable will help you budget well. It will help you plan well. It will help you stock up your pantry better because you already know in advance what you're going to be cooking. This really saves a lot of stress. So that's the first thing I would advise that we adopt. Having a timetable is not going to be boring because it's a 2-week timetable. So before something comes around, you will have been craving for it already. But if it was like a 1-week timetable, okay, I can get it. Maybe you're a bit tired of eating the same thing. Let me give you an example. Like if you're having couscous on Monday, before you know it, another Monday has turned around. But if you have couscous, maybe Monday the first week, and then you don't have it again until the next week. So you see, you'll be craving that dish. So that is why to have a 2-week timetable is very important, and it can help you budget too. You see, in these times where money is tight, having a 2-week timetable can really help you plan ahead. So that's the first and most important tip. The second tip that I am enjoying it right now is to pre-slice. Yes, to pre-slice your veggies. Oh my God, this is such a beautiful hack. I am telling you, ladies, if you incorporate this in your cooking, you will thank me later. Please just make dua for me because of how sweet it will be. Just you bringing out your onions already pre-sliced or chopped. So you have to dedicate a day or two so that you can be able to cut down your veggies. Cut your onions, cut your peppers, or have somebody cut it for you. It doesn't matter. Or use a food processor to slice and dice and chop everything. Put everything in freezer bags, label it, and put it in the freezer. Make sure you drain out the water. So when you slice and dice it, put them in sieves. Make sure that there's no water. Pour it inside a freezer bag, label it, put it in the freezer. Every time you have to use it, you just bring it out and take what you need. So this is a trick that I was doing. I made them in little freezer bags, but I made sure that my freezer bags were small so that if I'm going to use, it depends on what you're cooking. If you're cooking for a large sum of people, you just use the whole baggie. And if you're cooking for a small sum of people, you just take what you need out, and it can really save time in your cooking. Can you imagine making fried rice and everything is chopped and diced already and put in the freezer? Wallahi, is the sweetest thing ever. So definitely do that because it can really help reduce your workload and your stress levels during this month of Ramadan. And then the next one, so this is the third one. The third one is make sure you try to incorporate many dishes that you have to either slow cook or you have to bake in the oven so that you are not always going back and forth or staying in a hot kitchen. When you are fasting, most of the time you are dehydrated, and it depends on where you live. If you live in a very temperate region and it's cold, maybe you might not be feeling dehydrated, but still you might feel thirsty because you've not had any water throughout the day. But when you are in some like, okay, like for now, Lagos is very, very humid right now. People that are going to do their Ramadan in Lagos and Abuja, it's so humid. You're going to be thirsty. Your kitchen is hot. You're sweaty. People in Kano have dry heat. You just don't want to be standing in that kitchen when that heat is going all over the place. So try as much as possible to make sure that the foods that you're cooking are stuff that you can slow cook, put it on low heat and leave the kitchen. I leave the kitchen. So that means maybe after Zuhur, you're already started slow cooking what you're going to eat for iftar, and you are not concentrating on what you're doing. Honestly, you just put it on and you leave, and then when you come back, you check it, you switch it off. Halas, it is so easy. What one pot wonders will work magic when you slow cook or you bake something in the oven on low heat and just leave it so that you are not in that hot kitchen. Do you understand? So that's the third one. The fourth one will be, let me just check my notes, cook in batches. So this one is a really good hack. So when you cook in batches, you find that you don't have to always cook. So let me give you an example of cooking in batches. Make sure you're making a huge pot of stew. You make a huge pot of your tomato stew, and then you just use wet. So anytime you have anything that you have to use stew for, you don't need to cook it. Does that make sense? You put it in the freezer and you use when necessary, which is awesome. And it's such a good prep hack. So then the next thing is to make sure that you use leftovers. So now I know there's a lot of controversy with using leftovers because some people don't like to use leftovers, but I find that using leftovers is really good. So let me give you an example of how you can use your leftovers. If on Monday, let's give an example, you made rice and stew, make sure that you are cooking enough rice so that you can be able to pack some out. So if you're home, if everybody in your home can only eat 2 cups of basmati rice, let me give an example. But the next day or the day after, on the third day, or maybe on Wednesday, you are making fried rice. So cook 4 cups of basmati instead of 2, and eat your 2 cooked with your stew, and then you take out, am I making sense? You take out your 2 cups of rice and put it in a freezer bag and put it in the freezer. The day you're going to make your fried rice, all you have to do is to bring out your cooked rice and leave to thaw. Bring out your eggs, your pre-cut veggies, and then your stir frying. Voila, you have a delicious dish for whether either it's sahur or if you're making it for dinner later. It is perfect. Cooking in batches really works out. Making your stew or making your sauces, like making an egg sauce in a large quantity and then keeping some in the freezer. Later on when you're going, you can just like switch it up. Maybe today if you use green sweet peppers to make this batch, the next one you use spring onions just to add and change the whole thing. So cooking in batches is such a good tip, and it really works out well for people that don't like to stay long in the kitchen, which of course is important because you need time for ibadah. So the next one is clean while you're cooking. Let me tell you a story. There was this Ramadan that I had visitors coming over, and before I realized, I wasn't cooking and cleaning, and when everybody left after iftar, when I saw the dishes that I had to wash up, I almost started crying. I just left the kitchen and left the dishes like that and went about my day. It was later on, maybe around maybe like 12 midnight, and I'll say, okay, I have the courage now to go and clean it up. And that was the time I should have been using to be either reading the Quran or doing something that will benefit me. So it doesn't make any sense if you don't clean and use and clean while you're cooking. So this is such a good hack. Once you're cooking anything, just be washing at the same time. So use and wash and clean, keep. So that when you leave the kitchen, you leave the kitchen. There's nothing hanging around anywhere apart from the food that is on the table. And that one you can clear it up later. But at least when you come to the kitchen, your kitchen is clean. So that is such a good hack that can help you during this month of Ramadan, inshallah. Now the next one, so now let me just do a quick recap. We did the first one, which was to set the 2-week timetable. The second one, which was to pre-slice your veggies. The third one, which was to make your food in either slow cook methods, different either oven or in slow cook. The fourth, which was to make sure that your food is cooked in batches. And then the fifth one, which I just saw you using leftovers. Now the sixth one, set your priorities. Set your priorities when you are planning your day. So let me give you a quick example of how to set your cleaning. Okay, yes, cleaning while cooking. And number 7 is set your priorities. How do you set your priorities? In the morning when you wake up, alhamdulillah, you are fasting another day. Just know on that day, because you already have a timetable, know exactly what you need to do that day. Set your priorities. Know everything. Plan. He who does not plan, according to the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, plans to fail. Plan your day. The minute you wake up, just already know what you're going to do that day. If you don't end up doing something or maybe clicking on a checklist, that's fine. But at least you planned and you have a clear idea of what is important for you on that day. That is about setting your priorities. If there's anything that you have to do that day, or maybe let's say, for example, you had to make your zobo that day, make sure that that is one of your number one priorities, so that zobo will be done ahead of time and put in the fridge so that it's cold for iftar. That's just an example. If you don't set your priorities for the day, what happens is by 3 o'clock, when it's already time for you to start going to the kitchen and start prepping, you will be overwhelmed. You will be overwhelmed, and then you will find yourself making mistakes, and then you will not know how to organize yourself properly. And before you know it, when there's call for prayer, when during iftar, you're probably not even eating with your family because you're trying to sort out 1 or 2 things that you have not finished in the kitchen. So make sure you set your priorities. So number 8, let's move on. So number eight is very important, to make sure that your pantry is stocked. Now that you have your 2-week timetable, if you don't stock your pantry, if you can run out and buy something, maybe if it's fresh, stocking pantries are important for especially non-perishable foods like your milk, your rice, your couscous, your oil. Everything is at home already. That is why it's important to always stock. But then people just buy stuff. I've seen where people just go ahead and buy things they'll say, oh, we're buying Ramadan shopping. But then at the end of Ramadan, they end up not using some of the things because they actually didn't even have a timetable. That is why that timetable is the number one most important thing, because it can help you stock up your pantry. It can help you plan. When you know exactly what you're eating for the next 2 weeks and then the next 2 weeks ahead, you will know what to buy. You will not end up buying rubbish when you will not end up buying things that you might not use, and then it's just there sitting on your shelf in the store, and then you're not using it, and it can be so annoying because you'll be thinking of what to do with it, and then maybe at the end of the day you might not even use it during Ramadan, which is so annoying and time consuming, and it's just taking up space. So make sure that you stock your pantry according to that number one, your menu or your timetable that you're going to use. Okay, so make sure your pantry is stocked. That way your mind is at rest. You're not always rushing out or sending somebody to the market and all of that. You are not doing all that stress. It's okay. So number nine is okay. Yes, number 9 is part of your priorities. So making sure that you make your checklist. So your number 9 is after your whole day, right? You're taking your checklist. I always like to use this app. You can just check on your Play Store or your what they call it, or your Apple Store. They're always like these cute apps where you can use to like check out things that you've done for the day. It's really important so that you can really know your progress during Ramadan, and you can even use it after Ramadan, because it really helps you organize your day, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom. It's so easy for everything to be so overwhelming for you. So if you have a checklist, okay, I did this click, I did this click, I did this click, I did this click, so that you can understand, okay, what is left? Do you have anything that you need to do that is pressing? The checklist actually helps you, organize yourself, and it helps you know what else you need to do. So I really advise that you should have a checklist. And the last, which is the 10th thing, rest. Rest. I know it's weird to hear when they say, women during Ramadan. Rest. Because you need the energy to make your qiyam al-layl, at night. So rest. If you have planned everything to do with your cooking and you've prioritized all your food, how this one is going to be fed, who is going to serve this person, make sure you have time to rest. Resting could just be you taking a nap. Just take a quick nap before you go back to the kitchen, or immediately after, before your Isha. Use that time to rest before you go for your Isha so that you can say your prayers well. It's always important to rest. I find that, and I will share this, it's not one of the tips, but I find that if you are drinking a lot of coconut water or Zamzam, so either one of the two, either coconut water or Zamzam during Ramadan, because they're filled with electrolytes and they're very good waters, especially Zamzam. Now, some people might say, oh, they don't have access to Zamzam. The substitute for it will be coconut water. You'll find that you will not be so dehydrated during Ramadan while you're fasting. And it will just give your body so much less stress and you'll be able to rest. What I mean by resting is not just about lying down. Rest just means don't cloud your mind with anything that is not important during the month of Ramadan. While you are lying down resting, you could be making your zikr. While you are lying down resting, you could be listening to the Quran. While you are lying down resting, you could be reading the Quran, but you are at rest. Your body is not in any working position. You need your strength. There's no need to overtalk. A lot of people, I find that they will go during Ramadan, they are going for meetings, don't plan anything during that time. That time is for you and your family and for you to focus on your deen. So just make sure that there's nothing that is stressing you out. A lot of times I find that even exercise can help you rest. So early hours of the morning, if you just like skip a little or you take a nice walk, it will just allow you early hours of the morning to just sleep and rest so that when you wake up, you are refreshed before you do your zuhur and before you do your asr, you're already feeling strong. If you wake up after you've done your fajr and you've done your dua, you can just take a nice walk, because what happens with exercise is the endorphins just make you a little bit tired so that you just have a nice nap. And that nice nap is a really sweet time. Just a little before 12, you wake up so that you're ready for your zuhur prayers. All that time is important for you to rest. Instead of going to the market or going to see a friend, it's good though, you can talk to the friend on the phone. I'm not saying don't do your Zooming, but what I'm saying is don't overexert yourself just because you want to do so many things during Ramadan. Make sure you have time for yourself. Let me tell you, as women, one of the biggest things that is killing us these days is stress. Stress is a killer. We don't sleep well at night. We keep late nights. We're always on social media. All of that, you have to drop it during Ramadan so that you replenish yourself. I keep stressing on this rest issue because I find that it has really changed my life when I decided to start doing that during Ramadan, because I used to remember how tired. Most of the time I fall sick after Ramadan because I'm doing too much. I'm doing a lot of things at the same time. And when I just started dialing back, I noticed how stress-free I became. And I know that a lot of women, once I told them this, they have been putting it in their lives, and they have told me that, oh, they feel so much relaxed now. They are even eager to make dua, because you're not making dua during, that's the whole essence of Ramadan. It's not just for eating. But if you plan, you prep, you organize yourself, you'll find that you have more time for your prayers, you have more time for, being close and teaching your children how to make dua, and more time for doing good deeds instead of just stressing. So I really hope that, these 10 tips, you can really change your outlook on how Ramadan will be. Because I find that if you don't plan for these things, they don't magically work out. So please, I hope even if you can't do all 10, make sure you do at least 5 of them. I hope everybody loved this video, and I would love to hear from you all. And if you have any more questions, you can let me know. Thank you. Jazakallah khairan. Bissalam, everybody.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I don't know if you would be able to take some of the questions. There are loads of questions out there. If we
Okay,
can still take some within the time limit,
okay,
inshallah, we'll appreciate it. Okay.
okay.
Should I just read some of them out or I'll put them on
Yes,
the screen?
please.
I
Okay,
can read it out. Okay.
just read it.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll read it out. Let me start reading. Um, the first one says that my husband loved to feast in Ramadan. He loves to have varieties of dishes for iftar. Do you have any recipe or recipes that are very fast to make in Ramadan so that I can have the table filled with lesser effort? Should we take it one by one, or you want to
Okay,
have
let me take it
everything
one
and
by
then
one. Let me answer
okay,
her own
please.
question. Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
please.
so your husband likes a feast, right? I get it. Sometimes a lot of people do during Ramadan, they love craving all the the foods that they like, and they want to see a whole spread of food. But you know what is funny? Most of the time we don't eat all that food. Have you noticed that whole spread we
Yeah.
just eat one or two? We
We're
just eat
fasting
one
and
or
we're
two. So,
hungry. We just want to eat
yes,
anything.
we don't really normally eat all the food. So this is the trick that I would teach everybody. So instead of just doing variety of food, make sure you have two main dishes that you're putting on the spread. So maybe like a roasted chicken, okay, and then a side of potatoes. Every other thing would be a fruit and a vegetable. And then you will now do a little bit of fried things. So let me give you an example. Let me just give you a rough example. You're making maybe sprinkles and samosa. You didn't make them, you bought them. You just deep fry them and put them on the table, right? So you have sprinkles and samosa, that's one or two. You have apples separate, you have oranges that you cut separate, and then you have bananas separate. That's already filling the place. Then you have two separate types of drinks. You can have tamarind drinks so that it can help you wash out and replenish your insides. And then you have like a sweet drink that you're making, or something different. Then you're going to make a pap. You see all these things that you are making, they're very easy because with the sweet drink, you have already pre-done it. So it's not like you are making it that day. Do you understand? Before you know it, your table is already looking very filled. Now fill the rest with salads. So you have some vegetables that you've chopped up, you have some that are steamed, and then you still have that, your sprinkles and samosa. Already we've counted up to 10 items on that table. Have
Yes,
you noticed?
mashallah.
Yes. So just focus on the main two or three things that you want to make. So, for example, if you want your family to eat roasted fish that day, you're going to have roasted fish, you have a side of potatoes, and you have some bread. Okay. And then every other thing that will be like a filler. So, all the fillers will be either fruits or vegetables, and you will find that they won't eat everything. They will just eat those main things. And then you have water, drink. Before you know it, when you come and see the table, so you fold, you say, hey, you've outdone yourself today.
Mashallah.
Is optical illusion.
Mashallah.
So next
Ah,
question.
okay, mashallah, that's a nice one. The second one says that, please, can you advise me on the best culinary partner for my kitchen to make Ramadan easy? Talking about equipment or kitchen accessories that would make my life easier in the kitchen. Okay.
For me right now, I can only speak on my own experience. For me right now, my food processor and my air fryer are my best friends. My air fryer, because I just put everything in the air fryer. I put my whole chicken, like literally. I would just marinate the chicken. I put the whole thing inside the air fryer, close it, and go and sit down. When it finished, it makes a noise. Come and check it, turn it over, push it back. That's all. So air fryers are just amazing right now. You can do grilled fish inside. You can make koftas inside. You can make grilled chicken. You can make little mini suyas inside. You can look. There's so many things. You can buy frozen fries instead of cutting potatoes all the day every time. Put your frozen fries inside. You can do roasted plantain boiling inside. There's so many things. The list is just endless. So the air fryer is such a good companion in the. And basically, an air fryer is just an oven. Okay, it's like a conventional oven, but it doesn't have the hassle of always opening that oven up and down and taking that heat. And it works really fast. So that's why it's such a handy tool right now. So air fryer number
Yeah.
one, and the second one is the food processor. And the food processor, because I will tell you the truth, I don't like to chop up vegetables. I like to throw everything inside and just allow it to, aha. And I use a lot of
Ah,
grated onions. I use a lot of
Okay.
grated or minced onions because I don't want people saying, I have onion in my food. You know how kids are, they'll be like, I have onion in my food, take it out. Is the onion is there, but they can't see it. Everything is there, but they
Yes.
can't see it. And anything that I want them to see, I will chop it on my own. So the food processor comes in really handy. So these two could be your best friends in the kitchen.
Oh, okay, alhamdulillah. The third one says that I always love to order meals in Ramadan to make life easier, but they don't taste great. What can I do to improve the the taste or the flavor? Yes, in those meals. Or what other alternative do I have? Yeah, I guess she
Okay,
doesn't want to
so
cook,
yeah, I understand. She doesn't want to cook. Immediately I heard that, I
but
just
she
knew
doesn't
who
like
she
what
is.
she gets.
Yes. So let me tell you the thing. I'm a caterer and I also do food vendor food. But the truth is, not every food vendor knows what they're doing. You're probably ordering from the wrong people. You have to be able to do your research about the person, buy in small quantities, taste their food, and see their consistency before you can be ordering from them. It's not just about any fancy picture that you see on social media and say, oh, I like that, I want to eat that. Maybe it's just the picture that looks good, but the food doesn't taste good. You have to buy from a genuine chef. There are so many people that use the word chef in their name, but they actually are not chefs, so they don't know what they're doing. So I'm not trying to dissing on them, but that's their prerogative, that's their life. You just have to make your research before you now pay for something because you're spending a lot of money buying this food and then the food doesn't taste great. Why should you recook it? But this is the trick I will teach you. The best thing you can do if you don't like to cook is this. You get somebody that will come and cook for you, a private chef that will cook for you at home. Okay? It's better for you to buy your ingredients, call the private chef. There are so many private chefs these days. They are all over the place. They will come, they'll cook for you in your home. They will put the food in the Tupperware for you. They'll put it inside the freezer. That way you don't need to order out. All you have to do is to bring it, thaw it, warm it. Chicken. Everything, bring it out. If it's pepper chicken you want, if it's turkey wings you want, that private chef will come and do everything. If you don't even want to go to the market, the private chef will come. You create a menu with the private chef. You give the private chef the money to go to the market. You will find that the money you spend cooking, giving that private chef to cook for you, is cheaper than all the money that you're going to pay the vendor going in and out, honestly. And then the quantity will be more because you actually bought this food. So your servings and your helpings, and then you are sure of what is in your food. Using good oils, using good seasoning, using good water to cook. You really don't know how people are cooking until you've seen them cook. There are some places that you can't eat. If you see how they cook,
Wow.
you will not be able to eat there.
Subhanallah.
Yes, if you see how gross things or cross contamination when they are cooking with fish, they will use their spoon to turn stew with fish, and then they are not turning. And then maybe you don't even know that you have a shellfish allergy. Every time you eat that soup, you are scratching and scratching. So it's better to even
MashaAllah.
call a private chef. There are private chefs. There are young private chefs all over the country. Their money is not much. Highest you pay them 50,000 naira to come and cook a whole food for you for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So that's highest. They don't even charge that much. Some of them charge like 30K. So if you're going to pay somebody 30,000 and then you're also going to give the person maybe about 120,000 naira to go to the market and buy food stuff for you, and and then you have some food stuff at home, it will be cheaper when you calculate now. Instead of
Yes,
buying a
it's
pack of
true.
turkey wings 6,500 naira, you have that same pack of turkey wings for 4,000 naira, which will last you. And that pack of turkey wings with 6,500 naira is one serving. And meanwhile, you have 4,500 naira pack of turkey wings at home for 5 servings. Which one is cheaper?
MashaAllah.
So
Yeah.
it's better for you to see what, and they will cook in your kitchen. So it's better for you to work with a caterer or a private chef that can do something for you like that instead of just ordering out, randomly and then eating rubbish all the time.
Yeah, Jazakumullah Karen. We're running out of time, but I want you to take this question before you go. It
Okay.
says that, Ma'am, Jazakumullah Khairan, may Allah reward you. You spoke
I
about planning ahead, having a Ramadan plan. Please, do you have any Ramadan meal plan to share with us, please?
I used to have Ramadan meal plans before. Because I don't have any free ones now. My
Okay.
sister, my
So,
business is food. Yes. So I used to have them before free. I'll give people for free, but now people have to pay me so that I give them
So
a
if
meal
you
plan
have the
based
paid
on,
one, you can tell our viewers where to get the
yes,
paid ones
based
to
on,
download
so what they
it.
have to do is they just have to hit me up on my DMs so that we can create a menu for them based on their dietary plan, based on their food, and based on their budget too.
Please
I take this into
tell them your
consideration.
DMs. Tell them your handle,
Yes.
please.
Okay, so my
Please tell
handle
them your
is
handle.
HAPSY, Hapsi Ibrahim underscore at Instagram. So HAPSY, that's Hapsi Ibrahim underscore. So it's pretty easy to find me. Once you just put that HAPSY, you see me wearing blue. Click on it. Don't be afraid to DM me. I will definitely get back to you.
Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's so nice having you today. MashaAllah, may Allah reward you fi sabilillah. May Allah
I mean, my
count us
sister.
among those that witness Ramadan. May Allah myself put barakah in all you do and all your endeavors.
I
MashaAllah,
mean,
Sister
yeah, that's
Afsa is one
everybody.
of my Bounties ambassador. She's always been there supporting Bounties. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu
Alhamdulillah.
alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
Thank you
barakatuh.
so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody.